Oh, Rich, I forgot to send you my address. I'll do it in the middle of this. I will send it to you. I was on my phone and I wanted to be on my computer because on my computer I have a shortcut key. And then I got to my computer and forgot about it. I'm old. Forgetting is a thing. Ah, hot water. Gotta make tea. Yes. Top of the morning to you. Okay, phone over there. Headphones set. I think we're ready, family. I think we are ready to go. Good to see you here. Let's get live. Hello. Good morning. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the show. I am Doc Rock. If you are new around here, this show is called Let's Get Live. This is where we help you do everything with growing your YouTube channel and, of course, with live streaming. Today, I am live streaming to you from Ecamm, the world's greatest streaming software. If you want to get a trial to that, check the links in the description. DocRock.live/Ecamm. I am also here representing many members of my Facebook group. We have the Let's Get Live group. You can get to that by DocRock.live/group. Again, links are in the description. And of course, like all streams, I like to keep it optimized using TubeBuddy. And again, that link is also in the description. But then for that one, I was smart enough to make a picture. So you can go and check that out. Gang, just wanted to say it's going to be a good day today. I brought in a very special guest. We are going to work on helping him grow his channel and his blog using the two together as a very, very kick butt strategy. So without further ado, because I just don't want to wax rhapsodically on this, what would you call this thing? On the intro, I'm just going to bring on my buddy Robb. So, good morning, Robb. Yeah.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good. Good to see you here, brother.
Good to see you.
Oh, he's wearing the proper shirt for today's topic. That is very, very cool. Very, very cool. And I see, oh look, we got Digital Buddha down here in the comments. We're gonna have him jump on later and chime in. Let me give him the link. And Tommy, good to see you here, brother. Good morning to you. Yeah, I guess we split this season, yeah. And yeah, Rob is like, why did Doc run to the studio so late? Because I was watching Manchester Arsenal too. So you know that's the thing. So Joanna Swan probably would show up late. Let's see. Rich is here, and of course, our umpire friend Miss Keeley is here. So yeah, and of course, Big Rich say, "We out here, yo." I love it, gang. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy that everybody is here today. We're gonna talk to Robb about blessing up his channel. And first of all, Robb, before we dive deep into any of that stuff, how about a little quick? Who is Robb and what does he do?
Well, my name is Robb Vaules. I live in bucolic Scottsdale, Arizona, which is a bit chilly right now, for at least Arizona. And I work in telemedicine. I'm a VP of sales for a telemedicine company, a radiology practice that works nationwide, servicing hospitals around the United States. And I think for a long time, I've been wanting to start a blog, focusing on my love of Disney. And about 12 years ago, maybe even a little bit more, I went ahead and bought the domain disneyblog.com. It was available. It was like, prime real estate. So I grabbed it. But unfortunately, life has gotten in the way. I'm married, have a child. And so I kind of let it set by the wayside, but now I've got the time, now I've got the funds to make the investment into to bringing this into something big And now I'm looking for that help and the guidance from a Buddha and a shaman.
That is awesome. I see what you did there, Rob. That is awesome. Well, first of all, dude, big ups on having the smarts to buy domains when you buy them. I think a lot of people have, like me. I have hundreds I've collected over the years, but a lot of times some people will just sit on it and like they don't know what they want to do. You know what? There's far more things that we have thrown $15 at for to decide whether we're going to do anything with it and waste it, like a bad lunch or a
Oh
couple of
yeah.
coffees or whatever. So
Well,
when
and
I
I've
have a
sold a
when I
couple
have
of
a
domains.
yeah, you did.
You know, yeah. I owned gotsleep.com. And I bought it thinking, maybe I'll do something with sleep products and stuff like that. And along the way, a mattress retailer in California came along and said, "Hey, we really want this for a promotional purpose for our series of California-based mattress stores," and they bought it from me for 25 grand. And from that point on in, my wife did not question my ownership or paying for domains. I've sold two. I sold another one for $30,000 a while back too. But yeah, it's one of
Genius.
those investments I made early. It's my Bitcoin, really. I
That's
so
funny. No, I'm telling you all the time. If I think of a good domain and it's open, I snatch it, and I might sit on them. I probably waste, like say $200-300 a year on domains, but
right.
it's worth it because when you are ready to pop it, it pops. And a question that I was going to say for the Buddha, I'm supposed to be emailing him the link, because he always forgets my link, even though it's super simple.
David.
Is that there used to be the conversation about having domain sit for a hot minute and having it gain, I guess, authority due to age. And I wasn't sure if that had phased out or whatever. So, we'll save that for him, let him answer that out to the public. But I
Mhm.
definitely think that there is something to getting it. There's something to fleshing it out and things like that. So we're going to dive in today a little deeper into sort of building a strategy around growing a channel and a blog at the same time. And I think there's some really cool conversations to be had about that. So while I'm pinging up the Buddha, tell us a little bit more about what do you see is your avatar, not your avatar, but your viewer avatar, and like what type of content do you think you want to produce on there?
Well, speaking to Disney folks can be, vast number of topics you could talk about with Disney fans. I mean, they focus on pins or movies or going to the parks or, just there's tons of different things. In terms of an avatar, consumer avatar, that can be kind of a wild too. But I'm focusing right now on the three words, and that's strategic Disney travel. And my goal is to have an editorial bent toward helping people who have made the decision that they want to travel to a Disney park somewhere in the world, and what are the best ways of planning and executing a vacation that they will be happy with. And I've been doing that myself. Part of the joy of Disney that I have is planning that vacation for my family and doing all the things that I need to do, finding the right hotel, finding the right flights, making sure I know on each day what you're doing. And honestly, my wife was not a Disney fan when I first met her. I've been going to Disney long before I met her, but she was not really, thinking I'm marrying a guy that likes Disney. Is this a good thing? But the first time I took her on vacation there, she she understood me better in that realm. And ever since then, there's never been a question. We named our first dog together Walter Elias, which is Walter Elias Disney. And so, and her, the latest dog came in is named Daisy. So, we've got that together. The son still, my kid's a little still confused about dad's love for Disney, but he gets to go on vacation. So there's that. So my target really is, that person that is wanting to take their family or themselves to a Disney park and how can I help them better get there, feel comfortable, know what to do before they go, know what to do while they're there, and what to do when they get home to afford and execute better on a vacation.
Okay, I don't want to sidetrack your thoughts, but you're one of those guys. See, I'm a little different vacationer. I plan the heck out of what goes in my bag. I have a strategic lunch. My bag is packed about a week before I go anywhere.
Right.
I have learned to stop being the last minute packer. So I got my checklist, I got everything. I literally pack my bag and it's good to go. But once I get to vacation, like I like to just throw my stuff in the telly, check where everything is, take a shower because I can't stand airplane feel. So take a shower real quick, get dressed, and then go hit and explore. Like I don't like to have, what is the word I'm looking for? Like itinerary per se. Unless, and
Right.
there's shows or something. Okay, like when I go to Japan, I guarantee I'm going to catch a soccer match. I guarantee you're going to catch a baseball game, if the season's correct. Those things I'll do in advance, but other than that, I'm an explorer. I like to
Well,
just
and,
go
and
out
I
and be
get that
like,
too. I mean, my wife likes to go to the beach and do nothing, and one of her goals is she's got a friend in North Carolina that has a house out on the beach, and she just wants to go and do nothing. I'm for that
but
entirely,
that
and I
water
get
you
that.
can't see in it. Mine, you
Yeah,
can walk a
but
mile and still see the bottom.
I know, I understand, but
Okay, we're gonna have to
she's been
adjust
there
her.
before and wants to bring me. So we as married men listen to our wives for certain things. But in case of a Disney vacation, and I tell this story. And the last time I was in Disney, I was there with my wife and son, and we were also there with a couple friends from Atlanta. And we're sitting there waiting for our dinner reservation to come up, and in Hollywood Studios, we were going to the 50s Primetime Cafe. And that's one of the things you need to know is that if you go to Disney and you want to eat at some place, you're going to have to plan. You're going to have, there's plenty of quick service places you can walk up and grab something. But if you want to sit down, if you want an event, you have to make the reservations.
Those are different.
So
Yeah,
we're sitting
reservations
there.
I get. Okay.
Yeah. So we're sitting there waiting for our table, and this guy comes up. And apparently, I have the face of a person that looks like they want somebody to complain to them. And he sits down and proceeds to tell me the story that he, his wife, his 3-year-old daughter, and his in-laws have driven all the way from Alabama on this vacation, that he spent $7,000 on this vacation, and he's in Hollywood Studios with a 3-year-old, and he has nothing he can do because most of the things in Hollywood Studios now are not kids rides. You have to be of a certain height, or whatever. And so he's complaining, I've spent all this money on this day and I can't go anywhere else. And if I have an avatar, it's that guy. It's letting that guy know, I know that you're there. I know that you're going there, but you can't just trust somebody, because he booked it through the Disney Travel Group, and they're lovely human beings. Don't get me wrong, but they're salespeople, and
Yeah.
they're going to just kind of say, "Here's your 5 days. Write me a check for $7,000, and let's go." And if you don't make at least a little understanding of where you're going from day to day, if he took that 3-year-old over the Magic Kingdom, they'd be doing stuff all day long. The second they walked into that park at Hollywood Studios and they were locked in there because he didn't have the park hopper passes, he instantly lost that day. And if you take 5 days, divide it by $7,000, you understand the money that he's just lost. So and one of the things that one of the controversial things that I tell people about vacationing at Disney is, don't take your kid if they can't walk. If
Oh
they're
yeah.
young, if they're in a
Oh
stroller,
yes.
whatever, don't take your kid. And I get so much grief about that because but my kid, they want the magic, they want to see Mickey.
No,
That's
no,
great.
no. Dude, dragons are not, I mean, it's just not a thing. Right.
Right.
I used to tell my this is so mean, but it's the truth. It's the same thing. I used to tell my single buddies in the army that they met this girl and she has a kid. I go find out how old right away. And they're like, why? I was like, because you don't want to have to deal with dragons yet. It's like, what's a dragon? A kid that can't walk. You got to drag them everywhere. or they don't walk without management. Like, come on, 2-year-old, let's do this. Come on. No, you got to drag them because you see the little kids getting dragged out the store. And they go, that's so mean. I go, no, but it's factual. It is a thing that requires a lot more dealing with. And I guarantee you guys are going to fight about it and you'll be broke up in like 2 months. So it's easier to go in when the kid's like 4 years old and they can walk on their own volition with a thought process because it's just a different thing. And I know it sounds super mean, but it's a true thing. Let me bring in.
I'm not, I would tell these people, go to a beach, take your kid to a cabin up in the woods, go to a beach, go someplace where you don't need to plan to be there at a particular time or leave at a particular time or worry about naps or worry about meals. Go someplace and spend that money somewhere else. When that kid is 6 or 7 years old or, to that point, then you're going to have a kid that's willing to run from ride to ride.
Yeah. Well, and then they're cognizant of where they're going, right?
Right. They'll have already looked at the map. They'll be telling you where they want to go. They'll be telling you where they want to eat. And then you can sit back and be the parent and enjoy the kid enjoying the park. And that's the point in time. It's an investment. Yeah. And I want you to spend your money well. And if I have to tell you don't, and you're going to be ticked at me for some reason, okay, I'll take that bullet. Good morning, David.
Good morning, David. Uh-oh. His mic's not working.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, it is. I was muted.
You just pulled the Miss D. So we were just making sure you caught the part about not wasting $1,400 by not getting the multi-park pass. That was the main thing we wanted to make sure you got.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Okay.
Making sure you have dinner reservations.
I'm just checking. Oh, wait. Did I do my math right? You said, what was it, 5,000? Divided by 7,000 divided by 5.
Divided by 5. Yeah.
Okay, 1,400. Hang on, quick. I didn't even have my soda bone.
Right, that's the other thing. I probably could have told them how to spend $3,500 for 5 days.
That's even better. No, so I like the fact that you found your avatar, and I wanted to, before we disappear from this point, I want to make sure that everyone understands that Miss D and I are always preaching to you folks, solve people's problems, right? You solve people's problems. If you can take away their pain, your channel grows no matter what. All of the channels that you watch religiously right now are solving a problem for you. Whether you know it or not, they are. People find Roger Wakefield because they're trying to plumb something in their house. They don't have the funds to hire a real plumber, so they're looking for something. That's a problem solved. When I watch America's Test Kitchen, I am solving the problem of being stuck between 3 or 4 different kitchen items that I want to buy. I know I need a new toaster oven. I seen the thing at Costco. It kind of looked like a good deal, but I really want the Breville 9000S, convection air fryer, only a little bit bigger. Yes, it's $400, but which is which? I go to America's Tech Kitchen. They went through everything, and at the end, they go, yes, this thing is $400 oven, but it will run circles around the one you buy from Costco, and you will buy 3 of those Costco ones before this one ever dies. And I'm like, boom, I'm in. $400 toaster oven, here I come. Because they also made 280 pieces of toast, and they were all the exact same color. I was like, I'm in. That was the winner chicken dinner for me, no pun intended. So anytime you go to any site, right, you're going to a site or to a blog post or to a thing, you're normally going to solve a problem, even if that problem is, please entertain me, right? When you go to watch Saturday Night Live, you're saying, please entertain me. The world is getting on my nerves. I want to slap the mess out of these children. Somebody make me laugh. And then bam. So just keep that in mind. So I love the fact that your avatar is that dude that complained to you, right? And you know now that there is plenty more folks like that dude that need to know these things. So yes, I just love that. It's funny. It's funny because Kat said the same thing I did. I love you use that example. I stalked the Breville air fryer for a year. Yeah, me too. Because it was kind of pricey, but it's well worth it. Now here's the jacked up part, Kat. Mid-Christmas shopping season a couple months ago, when it finally, this is it. I know exactly what I want. They are out of stock everywhere. Like, if I had made my mind up when I had made my mind up, I'd have one right now. But they're still out of stock. I just checked again yesterday because I need it. It's driving me crazy. especially on this new eating healthy mission. So, Digital Buddha, here's the reason why I wanted to have you here today, because you have lots of experience on using the written side of this equation and ranking sites based on actual valuable content, not just like fake rank or bought links or backlinks or some of the other weird stuff people do to try to beat Google. Before we finish any more of this conversation, one last point I want to make out. I don't think it equates to any of our users, but in case someone comes in on Replay Squad and they haven't heard us preach before, there will be no shortcuts. I don't teach that stuff because they're all will get you in trouble. Most of them don't work. Most of them are full of crap, and it's a short-term solution, if anything. So please don't do them. We're not going to do that. Today, we're going to talk about real, actual strategy that will get you actual results using the things. And the reason why those other things don't work, because some of you say, well, my daddy used to tell me, don't do so-and-so, but he never told me why. And when the day that you decided to do it without listening to him, you normally figured out why in the hospital or at Planned Parenthood, whatever. Those mistakes your daddy warned you about, yeah, you should have paid attention. So I'm not going to do daddy. I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't do them. You cannot beat the algorithm. In almost any normal situation, for what it's worth, let's just remove YouTube from the equation or Google from the equation. Humans can't beat the algorithm because algorithms don't have emotions and you do. That alone is the reason why you can't beat the algorithm. So let's just stop trying to beat the algorithm. One thing I hope I never write on my channel, and if I do, someone call me out and I'll change the thumbnail. I will probably never write beat the algorithm by doing X, because you can't beat that. It's just impossible. So let's just not start that lie. Don't believe anyone who tells you that you can. Maybe you can trigger the algorithm. That might be a thing, but you can't beat it. So yeah.
Right.
So I think I said that
Yeah.
right, David.
You did. I want to say this, that, Google and YouTube and their bots that crawl websites and monitor videos and stuff are extremely intelligent. They can tell whether or not you're putting out valuable content or not. There is no longer the days where you could trick keyword stuff, do a whole bunch of random things to try to get your website ranked or your YouTube videos ranked. It's just not going to happen anymore. I want to kind of step back to a question that you were asking about. Domain authority is what you were talking about. And I think
Correct.
you told me prior to this that, Rob, if I'm not mistaken, you've had the website for about 12 years, I guess.
I've owned the domain for 12 years. I've always been pointed at some. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went ahead and I just punched in, your website to a tool I use, Ahrefs, which is a pretty common, popular. SEMrush and Ahrefs are two of the top SEO tools. They give you massive amounts of information that can overwhelm even advanced users. But in looking at it, I can see how long your site's. To answer the question, yes, authority matters. The length of time on the internet does matter still. It is a part of Google's algorithm. One thing that I do notice is that there's no content currently on your site. You do have 5 backlinks. You've got one from a decent ranking website in the world, the Disney blog, I think it is, the disneyblog.com. So I think that there's some awesome stuff. I love your concept and the route you're going with. There are tons of people that plan trips to Disney and want to know the tricks, tips, and ins and outs of when to get there, when to do this. That stuff is huge. I've got a client of mine, the RV Atlas, and they are the #1 RVing podcast. And their clients are like Winnebago, Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, and they do a lot of. They're Disney fanatics, and they put out a how-to Disney blog post and stuff. And I mean, they rank really well. They get a lot of traffic from it. So I think you're on the right track. I think you could do if you started producing content on your site, over time. I'm in agreement with Doc. I'm the long strategy guy. I'm not the, let's go buy. Yeah, let's not go buy. You can go buy ads. I mean, if you want to employ a dual strategy, which is organic plus paid, you could probably start driving some traffic immediately to your website. But ultimately, my play is the long, more organic play, which is content marketing, which is producing valuable content so that you get ranked in Google, and Google, more importantly, sees you as an authority in Disney blogging, on all things Disney.
Okay, so that is the question that I kind of wanted to start with this morning in terms of I am one person and I know other people that I would like to involve in the blog side of it and creating development content. But I
Mhm.
think, in a discussion I had with Doc a while back, he mentioned that there are content partners that would develop, specific content and do revenue share. And
Right.
one thing I know is that I want to make this a successful venture, but I also know I have to share in the the riches of anything that comes apart. I know that I'm not going to make 100% of the money. I'm going to give that out, and I'm going to give it out to the people that are
Help
helpful
you
to
grow
me.
it.
The question
Yeah.
is are there legitimate partners that I can hire, either a company or even individuals?
Yeah.
What would that revenue share look like?
Well, I will
What would
tell you this. There are definitely content, companies out there that probably produce Disney specific content that you could hire. Here's the downside of that. They're probably
Mhm.
producing Disney content for others, and they're just repurposing the same content, charging you pretty much top dollar, where you're gonna pay anywhere from 15 to 25 cents per word, and 25 cents being, I mean, expert content writer, blogger. What I would recommend is what a lot of people don't realize, and even though Disney's in the US and stuff, everybody knows about Disney. And the good
Right.
news is that there's tremendous amount of content online, so they can do research, about Disney. You don't have to have necessarily a person in the US writing the content for you. You could actually have a copywriter out of the US that speaks English as their main language. My first copywriter, and she still works for me today. In fact, she runs my blog. Her name is Lisa, and she's from Cape Town, South Africa. And, her English is primarily its first language. They speak the British English, but it's no different. I mean,
Right.
they know the English, our American
But
English
can't
as
she
well.
speak Kawasa?
I think she can speak a lot of things.
I just
I
like that. I
speak
just like that because Trevor Noah always talks about speaking Kwasa. So I probably said that wrong, but I just love it when he does it. It cracks me up. There was an episode where him and Shalice just broke down and started speaking Afrikaans, and it was
Yeah.
so incredible because they just switched in the middle of the conversation, and then they didn't realize that they did it. But they did it, and they're like, "Oh wait, nobody understood a thing we just said," and then they switched back. But I don't know if it was planned or not. But it was so organic that it was gorgeous. Like, so, just hearing, it's Shalise. She could have been going ding ding dong, wah, la, la, wah, 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 wah. I'd have been like, anyway. Sorry, I digress.
No,
I
I
use
think
that
it's
a lot. Yeah.
I would probably, what's most important with this strategy is consistency. It's just like YouTube. Content writing on your website is the most important thing is consistency. So if you can put out a blog post a week, minimum of 1,000 words on valuable content like you're talking about, strategies of how do you attack Disney when you go to visit, what's the most important things, you start producing that content, whatever it looks like, that's going to be huge for you in the long run. But consistency is key. So, for example, Cape Town, South Africa, as far as outsourcing and stuff, exchange rates, I think it's like 18-1 right now. So what I did and what I didn't know, but I learned quickly when I hired Lisa in 2016, I have never negotiated with anybody that's come to work for me on, no matter where they're at in the world, on pricing. I've let them set their own price, what their value is worth, and then I make a decision of whether or not I can afford it. And to give you an example, when she started with me, it was $500 a month for 4 blog posts, 1,000-word minimum. It was one a week. And that was affordable to me at that time. My business was in its infancy, so that was something that I could do. So it's since changed. We produce a tremendous amount more content today than we did then. But so it kind of depends on what your ability is. If you're going to pay someone, I would recommend hiring somebody in-house so that they can learn your voice, they can get your
Right.
they can have your
Your
brand on
style, yeah.
point, your
Yeah.
style, absolutely. And you can train them the way that you want, and y'all can build it and tackle it together and stuff. That would be my
Because there's definitely things
recommendation.
you have to think about. You got to think about Chicago style or APA or ALA or whatever you're going to use. You're
Strunk and
going
white. Yeah.
yeah, Strunk and White. There you go. So you got to decide on that stuff. You got to decide on your voice. Like we even talked about it today. We have to decide on whether you're speaking in first person or second person or third person. And all of those things really matter. But I think that one key element of your setup, like David said, is your consistency. But when you publish a video and then you turn around and say put that video on your blog and you have a transcript with maybe some additional information, you are giving Google so much juice, right? So a lot of
Right.
people, especially YouTubers, they'll post a YouTube video but they never put it on their blog. I had to leave myself a checkbox in best practices for TubeBuddy to remind myself to put it on my blog because I have probably 40, 50 videos right now missing from my blog. And so I just keep telling myself on a Sunday, I'm going to take time to do it. Last Sunday I started and then Emma's like, yo, uncle, let's go fly some drones. Okay, hey, what? Drone? I'm out. but
Tiny
but
thing.
it is the kind of thing that you can put back at any time. So for those of you like myself who haven't done the blog thing, make sure you go to put that back. We are working on some ways for you to get easier blog setups. I like Rob just used the Bitnami thing. You want to get rid of that little X in the bottom of your site there, though. But yeah, just WordPress is probably the best at this moment in time. I was a strong proponent of Squarespace. I still think Squarespace has its merits, but as ease of use and just simplicity to get started and pricing and things like that, WordPress is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
And even if
And
you
I do
just
WordPress
spent up
right.
Bitnami is WordPress. I see that. If
Yep.
you just spun up the standard theme and just had your content, and yes, I'm saying just Keely behave, um, and just put your content there so that your video has a place that's beside YouTube, you're going to get more pump on that video than just putting it on YouTube alone.
And so let me talk about the video strategy and how it moves into the blog strategy. And so, first, hello to the family. Um, just the past few months have been very helpful and illuminating between, Doc and spending time listening to Pat Flynn and a few things. I now know what I've done. And my most important development tool that I have right now for myself is Microsoft Word. And I've been listing everything down. I've been building, documents in terms of how I'm going to do what I'm going to do so that it's repeatable and consistent. One of the things that, I'm dead serious when I said this a month ago. I've already started planning my content for Vlogmas, and every show that I do, everything that I do from this point on in is going to have a number of different things that will eventually be seen during Vlogmas. Now they're going to be seen before that, but the content's going to be recut and delivered for Vlogmas in different packages. So I already have that down. I also have Descript, so I know that when I do a video program, I'm going to be running that through Descript, creating the content in text form, and then editing that and throwing that onto the website with a link to the video as well. Because I know one thing, my son is visually impaired, so he can't, he'd rather watch a YouTube video than read something. And so I go into it thinking like that. I've got to give what I've got in different formats
Yeah.
for different
Genius.
users, because and so I'm going to have an audio stream, I'm going to have the video, I'm going to have derive written content out of that and provide those particular things in. So my
That's
first
genius.
programs are going to be talking to travel agents about their tips on how to best book a vacation, and understanding that they bring in there's a whole line of Disney specialists that love to book Disney travel, and they love Disney as well, and they like going to Disney. So what I'm going to do is let them talk, let them be that expert, and then give them their opportunity to promote their travel agency. And I make this, I make this point because I've said it on a couple of videos that I posted, and it's like, who in their right mind starts a travel blog in the middle of a pandemic?
The smart
This
ones.
guy.
No, it's super funny you should say that though, Rob. But the answer is actually the smart ones. Because what am I doing last night after I told the gang, I was like, gang, I'm gonna cave in early because I gotta get up at 4 and some other stuff. So I went home, I popped on the YouTube and I watched all of my Japan vloggers. Because I miss
I
I
love
miss
Japan.
my home. That's my second
I love
home, brother. And to my little sister Ashley, her nice sister, not blood. To Ashley and her husband and her daughter Jordan, Disney is life, yo. To them,
Yeah.
Disney is life. So what are they probably watching when they can't go to Disney? They're at home watching videos about Disney or watching Disney bloggers or doing stuff. So I know the people like you. Her, I have another friend, Anella, who's like that. My friends in Japan, my Disney friends in Japan, oh, they are what you call Disney otaku, which is a nice Japanese way of saying like, oh, super nerdy. So I can tell you right now that I definitely went home and probably absorbed about 15, 20 videos about missing the mother country because I'm本当に懐かしいこれ ね? Like I just
Yep.
completely miss it, and I get that warm, fuzzy, nostalgic. Natsukashi means nostalgic. I get that nostalgic feeling watching them and watching Angela from Internationally Me and currently Hannah and some of my other Japanese bloggers. I'm just sitting there going, man, I need to get back. So you did the right thing, brother. You are
Yeah.
100% on point there. Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
One thing I want
Well,
to.
and one more thing, David. I'm a son of a
Yeah.
history teacher. And one of the things that I learned, I lost family members in the last pandemic. Sure, that was 100 years ago, but it was a great uncle and a great great grandmother. And so my father would, mention, things about family. And so I get the idea of what happened right after, the last pandemic was the Roaring Twenties. So I have to be optimistic. I believe
Wait, we get to wear flapper
that,
skirts again?
hey, if that's what it takes, we're gonna get to a point where we're beyond this, and we've got this handled, and people are going to go crazy. They're just going to break out, and I want to be there with the information that they need for this particular love. So
Absolutely. One thing I want people to understand and realize about what I'm talking about, once you're yes, it takes some time to establish yourself as an authority in whatever your niche is with the search engines, whether it be YouTube or Google. Once you're established, it's a lot harder to get unestablished. So the consistency in the beginning, the first 12 to 18 months is was what I tell people. This is the long play. It's going to take 12 to 18 months of consistent content being produced on a regular basis. But once you're established as an authority, it's a lot harder to get unestablished. You can take breaks in content, make some changes. You can even change your content to something else, and the search engines will pick it up because you are an authority established in this industry. When you produce content, Google already has you set as an authority, and they
right.
will put authority on that content as well. So I think most people don't, they talk about doing that, but they don't realize that once you are established, it's huge for you. So,
Right.
yeah.
And lucky for me, I'm a patient person. I mean, I know I work in sales and marketing in telehealth and
Right.
telemedicine, and I've done WordPress things before, and I know it takes time to rank, and I know it takes time in my niche to to be the authority. So I'm this is not a get rich quick scheme at all.
Right.
I'm in it for the long term. My goal is to allow people to have their voice and be the experts on Disney travel, and
Yeah.
also allow my family to travel every once in a while and go to these parks. My son, just last year passed got an A in Japanese 1, and he loves Japanese culture and the Japanese language, and he wants to go to Tokyo. So of course, Dad's gonna drag him to Tokyo Disney, and he's gonna have such a problem with that. Sure, Dad. Okay, I'll go to Tokyo Disney. So it's that I understand it's a long term play, and I'm perfectly
Yeah.
fine with that.
I'm Jeremy and Stephanie Puglisi they're the content producers behind the RV Atlas, and I want to connect y'all because I think they can help give you some specific, tips and stuff, or even a collaboration between each other because they have a very high ranking website as well. Campgroundbooking.com and the RVAtlas.com are there too, and they have the big Disney RV resort there, and they
Right. I
go
watched a
every
video on it
year.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it
even own
might.
an RV, and I watched a 30-minute video on it.
That's exactly right. Hey, look, yeah,
But I
he's
do
a
that.
Disney fan.
I do
Yeah,
no, but I do that, right? I definitely watch. I get intrigued by good content, right? So I'll watch videos about some stuff that has absolutely jack weevil to do with me, and I'll be like entrenched, and I'm like, oh,
Right.
so nandakido.
yeah,
And if you guys don't know, man, I'm telling you, when you go to Tokyo Disney, like they're on a whole different level. Like they're on
Yeah.
a whole different level. Like when you go to Universal Studios in Osaka and you go to the Potter Park, dude, the Potter Park is insane. Like there's not a
Yeah.
single person walking around without glasses, broom, wand, cape, Quidditch, or whatever. Like owl
Well,
on the shoulder, like the whole 9 yards. It's all there. Like
the
it's
argument is that the best Disney park is Disney Sea. Of
oh,
all the Disney
100%.
parks, yeah,
100%.
in the world, Disney Sea is the best one. Yeah.
100%. I will put money on that. And it has to do with the culture of the way that the employees are. And, Imagineers are Imagineers everywhere, but culturally, Japan is different when it comes to stuff like that. I will not step foot in a McDonald's in this country, but when you go to Japan McDonald's, you're just like, oh, that's not even what I thought. That's completely different. Wendy's, like all of the above, like amazeballs there. It's kind of crazy. It's mind blowing how good it is, but it has to do a lot with the culture and the way you do your job and the way you can't, like slack off because you might bother someone else type of thing. So
Right.
we got the consistency thing down, and I think that's important for regardless of what you're doing in your channel. I like the concept that you put up about it takes 12 to 18 months to become authority, because even in talking with Shelly Saves, one of our favorite big time YouTubers, she says the same thing about YouTube. It takes 12 to 18 months for YouTube to know that you're really serious. They're not really going, unless you have something straight fire, they're not going to pump your brakes until you've proven that you're going to be there consistently.
right.
I noticed my discovery tab from YouTube pointing me out to other folks roundabout exploded after my 12th month of showing up consistently.
Right.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you can just see it in your analytics. And yeah, of course, in that time frame, content's getting better, flow's getting
Yeah.
better, consistency is getting better. But also, the algorithm just goes, okay, this guy is constantly doing this, do this, right? So in all the sports, now they have sports science. There's a guy, John, I forget his last name. He comes on ESPN, he does your sports science, and he shows you these things. He can go and tell you this is where LeBron takes the majority of his shots from, because for some reason at this one particular spot, he's basically bulletproof. And then once they started showing that on TV, in this little thing. The next couple games you watch, there's 2 defenders in that spot at all times. They'll leave their man open to make sure LeBron is never open in this one spot, because at this one spot, he's like 86%. It's crazy. And we have that kind of data now, right? So we have that kind of data that says, yes, you can drive in third place the entire race. When you know we're under 20 laps, make your move. And if you watch NASCAR or left turn car, they're guys who live in third place, but somehow they're the NASCAR champions because they know they've been saving gas that whole time. The reason why I like GTP of all the racing, it's the most strategic when it comes to stuff like that. Well, in my university at Tokai, we built this GTP race car. It was pretty rad. So with this information, you know what you're doing. And I think Liz was trying to explain to people, because Liz comes from analytics from a retail place in, retail sales in the high-end retail, like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Coach, all of that stuff. I don't know if she spoke about that too much. But the analytics can tell you everything. But most people look at it like, I don't understand this stuff. Well, then go understand it. How to understand it is not like it doesn't exist, bro. Like, go learn to understand it, because it will change your life. And I always knew that this stuff was out there, but I happened to get lucky enough to see a back end of like David showing me one of those things in Ahref, and I was like, whoa, they know all of that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's amazing.
Bruh. I don't have an Ahref affiliate. Sorry, people. Maybe David does. But that kind of stuff. But the average person would be like, I don't want to pay for that.
Right.
You don't want to win.
I want to say that next.
I'm willing to make that investment. Sorry, David.
No. Next, beyond just the consistency, is the content matters. Have a plan, have a strategy. Valuable. Here's the thing with search engines, YouTube, Google. When you type a search, or anyone types a search into the search bar, the job of that search engine is to return the most valuable, relevant data to the query, to whatever the search is. So if you think in that way, and you think about, okay, who's my target audience? Who's the people that I'm going after, whether it's video content or written content, your titles matter. I'm trying to think of something that I can use Disney related. It's easier. My brain works in WordPress, tutorial kind of frames, but, Disney related, where should I stay? The best place to stay at Disney,
Right.
What
about the best place surrounding hotels that won't cost you like 6 arms? Like,
exactly.
Where are the budget hotels that are close enough that you can get to it without like another travel?
And that's
Whatever
the
you
reason that I want to introduce, travel agents into this particular discussion. Because I grew up, you had to use a travel agent to book a plane ticket. There was no, they typed it out on a form and whatever. I'm dating myself, but you understand there was a value to travel agents, and they still exist, and they still provide value, but they don't have the authority that they once did. They don't have the voice that they once did. And I'm hoping that I can work with, travel agents to have them speak to things like, you don't have to stay on Disney property. And here's, because there's hotels, but you can also rent a house for $400 a night and sleep
Airbnb.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you're driving down and everybody's got a car, rent a house. You're going to have a pool. You're going to have a kitchen. You're going to do that things. I'm a member of the Disney Vacation Club. So, once a year we have a week that we can go there and get a 1-bedroom apartment, really, on Disney property with a kitchen. And so, we'll eat breakfast in the room, or we'll have soda or water or whatever. We can save money in other ways by strategically, traveling. And that's my whole goal.
There's your blog post, how to save money on your Disney trip. Those types of things, think about those titles and that type of stuff, like best places to stay outside of Disney, those types of things, top 5 places to stay at Disney. And if your brain's going to, once you start just putting that content out, it's going to work that way. And you're going to get to dial it in. You're going to be able to look in Google Analytics and see what it is that your audience wants, the type of content that they want. And then your content, your actual analytics is going to dictate your content once you get going. So once you get going and you start to dig into your analytics, your Google Analytics, you're going to start seeing what content is the most popular for your audience, and you're going to expound upon that. So, your content your analytics will dictate your content when you become established and stuff.
Right.
So I got a question for the crew down there. Again, if you're watching this later in the replay squad, please manage to type, or I can't speak English. Please type replay squad in the replay. If you're watching, if you're new, put new. But question for the audience: how many of you folks are out here still using? Hey, thank you for this. Subscribe. I can't read that.
Consult a blind guy.
Oh, there you go.
Consult a blind guy.
Question: if you are a person who still uses a travel agent, let us know down in the comments, because I still do. I did it, by myself for a while because I thought it was cool. It's like the internet and blah 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 blah. But I find it better to just not stress out over it. Also, I have proven fact over. Search for plane tickets in incognito mode with a VPN on, because plane tickets, bruh, the industry, even with the sites like Priceline, Negotiator, bruh, if you search a ticket and then you close it and you come back an hour later to show the person that you're traveling with that this was the price, that price has gone up every time. So if you are still going to be a lone wolf, search for tickets in incognito mode with the VPN on. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, it's a thing. It's crazy.
Try different browsers.
Yeah, and try different browsers. That is so true. That is so true. I don't know why they do that kind of stuff. It's kind of irritating, but yes, I use my travel agent. My travel agent is a really good friend, so I guess maybe I still get good deals. She hooks me up with stuff that maybe normal folks can't get, but I have a relationship with the travel agent, and it's just worth that. I don't got time for that stuff. But Keely said, hard pass.
That's what I'm laughing at. I'm like, I don't know. There's just something about when somebody uses that phrase, hard pass, it makes me laugh. So,
well, and Keely, and understand, I traveled for business, at least in normal times. There was a year that I traveled 250,000 miles in 1 year within the United States. So I know I can book Southwest. I know I can jump on and get my hotel room and whatever really quickly. And it's easier for me as a business traveler to book those things, because once I did give an assistant the ability to book travel for me, she was booking me an airplane flight that would save $1, but would put me into an airport for 5 hours waiting for the next flight. I'd rather spend that extra $1. I'd rather spend that extra $20. So there is a strategic reason to book your own travel in certain circumstances. My argument is this, though, is that most of us don't have the travel expertise that a business traveler would have. And so I'm looking at this as an investment in a family time. And so if you can get somebody to help you that's been there and done that, has the expertise to guide you into little known places, then a travel agent in terms of booking a Disney vacation might be the investment. And most of the time, you're not paying them anything. They're making commission on the back end from people that they're referring to you. And it's a affiliate program, really, is what it is. If we're doing affiliate programs all the time, that's to a certain extent what they're doing.
Okay, real quickly for the Tommies and the digital Buddha Davids right there. You can just say it out loud, David. We're looking right at you.
Well, he was talking. I wanted to just kind of acknowledge.
I'm teasing. I personally use Nord. I've tried Pure. There's a bunch of great ones out there. Nord is just easy. There's coupon codes all over the planet for you. I may or may not have a affiliate. I'm not sure. Basically, what a VPN does is tell the machine that you're surfing from someplace else, right? What I primarily use the VPN for is to watch British cop shows, because sorry, I didn't say that out loud. Spotless was one of my favorite. Yeah, Spotless was one of my favorite shows that came out of the UK. There's a couple other, like I wanted to watch Broadchurch without waiting for the dumbed down American version. So I would basically fire up NordVPN and then go to what is it?
Don't say it.
ITV4, ITV4. I think they got it, or the BBC Player and stuff, and then I would just
Right.
watch stuff from the UK. Also, before NBC bought Premier League, that's how I watch football. I used to watch football by using the VPN and watch Sky Sports off of a homie's account. So by logging in and telling it that I'm in California, I don't want to be like in a different country per se, because a different country might mess up my pricing, but I'll log in, I'll tell Expedia that I'm logging in from California, and then I'll look for the plane tickets, and I will sometimes get a better price, and then I can come back and, look at it later. The price hasn't changed because I have a whole different IP address. It's still showing me that buy it now price. But if you go into regular computer, you don't have to even fly anywhere right now. Right now, you don't want to go anywhere anyway. Just trust me. Go into your thing, look at a plane ticket. Wait a couple hours and go look at that same plane ticket again. I guarantee you the price change. Like, it's just jacked up. So that's the idea of having a VPN, is it basically shadows your IP or lets it think that you're coming from somewhere else so they can't drop cookies and IPs on you. I also use a VPN whenever I do anything with my bank, just because they don't need to know my IP address. And it's just safer, so it's good security. But yeah, we can dive deeper in the group. I can show you some other things that I use VPN for. Yeah, Happy Valley. Happy Valley is so bomb. I love Happy Valley. There was one more. It is Taylor. Something Jack Taylor. It's an Irish show, but it's good. I think it's called Jack Taylor. Anyway, that's what I use.
One thing I do want to say about is one thing that I noticed that stood out to me when I looked at your website, and even now, Rob, when I'm looking at your live stream setup and stuff, is your logo. I really, really like it. It's brandable. It's everybody will notice that because it's different. Everybody goes with the Mickey ears and they look too close to Disney and stuff. But yours is like, it just looks awesome, especially with that sign back there and stuff, What we pointing at, Doc? What we got?
No, because Steve wanted to know who's my team, so I'm trying to show him my glory, glory, Man United, glory. Oh, sorry. Let me stop.
Oh man.
And Tommy is the wrong United. He's Sheffield, but I gotta be quiet to him because they beat us this week. So
Well, and one of the other things that is on my plate is that Disney people like to buy stuff.
100%, bro.
They like to buy T-shirts before they go, to tell them that they're all a family. They're all wearing the same color. They're all, I'm Big Brother, I'm Little Brother, I'm Mama Bear, I'm Papa Bear type of thing.
Oh
They
yeah,
like doing that.
I can see Doc in that.
Yeah, I'm the uncle, right? So
I'm the funkle.
Exactly. So there's to focus on that right straight out of the gate, is probably not the first thing I do, but understanding the power of merchandising on the back end, because one of the things that people want to do to prepare for their vacation is have some sort of family brandable items, or have the right guidebook, or the right shoes and things like that. It's all, people come dressed to impress someone. I don't know who they're impressing when they walk in the gate, but they'll all be dressed the same, and they all want to buy their stuff from somewhere. And there's a lot of places you can buy that from, including Disney themselves. But the really important thing is that you have that as an offering. And
I need one of the moderators to kick Steve Worthy out because he's a Manchester City fan. You know what I gotta say about that, Steve? Let me tell you. Manchester City.
Oh, he got that button. Oh,
Manchester United.
I didn't realize Doc had that button.
I want that button now. I want that button.
Can you go to a full shot of me for a second?
Hold on. Let me do the full Rob. There you go.
Okay, I'm going to duck I'm gonna. All right.
I love that thing in the back, dude. You know that clock
Yeah.
that you have moving with the Facebook
Yeah.
and the Pinterest and that? I wanted to buy one, but I've never seen anyone actually have it, so I wasn't sure if it was scammy.
No, they work. They work. It takes a little bit of setup to do, and they sit on your Wi-Fi. But no, it works, and it reminds me every day of where I'm at in this particular venture, and if I grow, it lets me know. But the Disneyland sign that's
The
right
white one,
there
Yeah, I
yeah.
love
is
it. That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was made by. I want to give a shout out to Chris at Route 9 Signs, and he does custom signage, like classic signage, not just Disneyland. He does a lot of Disneyland signs, but he does old bowling alleys and bars and other things, and he makes replicas of old signs, and that's kind of his gig, and it's his side hustle to help him and his family. And he's in Fresno, California, and if you like stuff like that, he does an awesome job, and I always
Awesome.
try and help that man out.
That is so
So
cool. I like that. I mean, it's very beautiful. I've been thinking about what I want to make for the back of my area. Steve, stop making trouble in my comments because I'm gonna be sidetracked. And I'm trying to pay attention. Miss D, tell him, okay. All right, but yes, it's
That's funny.
oh my God, Miss Eileen is bringing up absolutely fabulous. I used to love that show. That show was so hilarious. It's so hilarious.
and I'm a Great British Bake Off fan, so that's it. Used to be
Yeah.
you could not get the current season of Great British Bake Off,
Oh, that was
and so
really
I would
good.
yeah, I'd have to use the VPN and do all of that. But now, thanks to Netflix, I can get it at least a couple days later. And
Yes,
that's
I love that show. That show is also very great. But now we're just going to get like Tommy and Lee to try to bake something in the group and we'll have a contest. Somehow Tommy's going to be like, I'm making beer bread because he's always got a pint in his hand. I love you, Tommy. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think the merchandising is a great route. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, and that's kind of how my brain works. And my ex-wife wanted to get a condo at the beach, so I'm like, oh, what can we do? She's a CPA by trade, and she was wanting to just kind of transition. So I was constantly like throwing ideas at her. And I don't know if you can work something like this, but I bought the domain beachbumessentials.com because we wanted to get a rental. And my thinking was as upsells, she could produce content, travel area, write all about the area and stuff. And then they could lease the condo, and we could have it our time of the year, but rent it out the rest of the time of the year and make it a money maker. And then we could do upsells, like have baskets in the room whenever they wanted. First thing they do is go to the grocery store and they get all the condiments, and well, you could have all that stuff. And that was just kind of how my brain. So if you can take something like that with Disney Blog to where when they get there, they've got everything they need, it would be legit. I don't know how you could do it, but
here's a funny story, bro. There is a company. Okay, first of all, in Japan, one of the cool things they have is you use Wi-Fi when you go there, because your phone's not going to work, right? Unless you have T-Mobile, then it works. But if you don't have T-Mobile, your phone's not going to work. So they send you a little Wi-Fi pack about like this big that does something like 200 by 200 in your pocket. Let's not even get started on that part of the conversation. But they rent one of these guys out to you for like $8 a day. If you got some cloud, then it comes down to like $6 a day. What's so dope in what they do is when you book your hotel room, you put this information on the it's called Global Advanced Communications, or iVideo. You put the information on the site. When you show up to check in, they hand you a room key and the hotel hands you the Wi-Fi. But it came in the FedEx, or Black Cat in their case, but it came, say, FedEx to the hotel. So the person hands you your keys, hands you your Wi-Fi package because it's already in the mailroom. Because most hotels throughout the world will have a package. You can have package sent ahead of time because of conventionals, right? So I had a relationship with a company in Texas called CBI. They basically could create any, little, what is this, glasses broom. This was my glasses broom or glass cleaner. This is some handmade stuff. This is something that Hawaiian Airlines gives you when you get on a plane. If you have a seat bigger than economy, it comes in a little pouch, right? Yeah, stuff like that, right? Yeah. So you get a little, actually I have my Hawaiian pouch over here somewhere. You get a little pouch like this when you're an elevated Hawaiian flyer, right? This is designed by Sig Say, a local designer. Inside there comes a spray, a lotion, a chapstick, a comb, a cover for your face, toothbrush, toothpaste. And it comes in a little amenities bag. Imagine someone who booked through you. When they got to the hotel, they got one of these, and it was all the type of essentials you should have in your pocket for park walking, sunscreen, a little face spritz to, not dry your skin out, just whatever. I don't know what those things are, but the companies that make these little essential packets, dude, they're all over. And now, like I know CBI, they will basically take anything that you find that you really like, and they will reverse engineer it. Oh, turns out it's all here. See, there's the eye cover for the plane. There is the lip moisturizer and the spray and the other thing. And I don't know why they keep giving me these, because, like, seriously, Hawaiian? Well, but I guess I can use it for that,
Yeah, it's just a beard cup.
And then they give you the little toothbrush and toothpaste. And, yeah, so, and a pencil in case you want to write. I don't know why all planes think you want to write on the plane. We have computers now.
Well,
But anyway.
In fairness, you have to fill out that form when you fly into Hawaii. So
that's true. That's what it's for. When we come back, we got to tell them that we're not bringing anything that's going to kill all the plants here.
Agricultural form. Yeah.
But yeah, something like a cool amenities pack or all the things they need, or like little maps or whatever, and you have that show up in their room or at the hotel when they check in, bruh, that's something
legit.
And then people just want to feel like they're VIPs. So although I have about 80 of these pouches, I keep them because I have one in the truck. I got one in both cars because it always ends up needing it at some point. And I go, you know what? I happen to have a little Hawaiian pouch in my thing, and then I can, bust out a toothbrush if I need. I got tons of them because I'm about 135,000 miles a year flyer. I'm in the Pualani Club. I call it the Punani Club. That's totally different, but yeah.
And the availability in certain, in Florida, they have companies that just do bin storage. So if you go a lot, they'll give you a big plastic bin. You'll put everything that you would normally have in Florida in that bin, and it will pick it up from the hotel and take it back into storage. And when you come back, they'll deliver that bin back to you. So you have it, your coffee maker, whatever else that you want. So you don't have to pack stuff all the time.
That's crazy.
There's grocery delivery services specifically for Disney travelers that for the Disney resorts. They do that. So they'll go grocery shopping for you and they'll deliver it. And Disney offers that as well. But there's really, in terms of gifts and things like that, premiums and things that deliver, Disney kind of has a florist that will deliver something to you, but it's very basic. And, if you want to do anything beyond that, it's pretty interesting. I've got a friend that's going to Disney World in February, and I want to make sure that she, has a little something to make her trip good. And so I'm going to figure out something on my own. But in reality, what the big merch is for them is everybody having the T-shirts if those T-shirts need to be dropped off. Now, I've run a T-shirt website before, and I did it to kind of see if I could do it, see if I could survive the pain. And I went through Printful. And the Nixons, understand this. They've already told me all about it. But Printful can be painful more than Printful, and they
100%.
Because you have to manage them. You're not managing your clients. You're managing a relationship with the vendor, and it takes too much time. And outsourcing is an important thing to know what to do, not just content. And it could be merchandise. And honestly, I ordered a Doc Rock T-shirt that arrived the other day. And it was so well packed and so well presented that it was very impressive because it was on brand for them as a vendor and them and for Doc. That, it was very impressive. was a little difficult to get in the bag, but at the same time, that's okay.
That was on purpose. It made you
I know.
want it even more. No, I love,
Right.
dude. Let me see if I'll pull the picture up real quick. I'll pop it on the screen. I love the way that they packed everything, and I love that it comes in and it was just so nicely put together. It makes you like actually proud that you received your package. You know what I'm saying? So and what's funny is they sent one package to my sister, and she was so floored by how dope the packaging was and the little note, and all of the above and stuff in there. So I definitely think that,
Everything that I would want to represent my brand is what they did for your brand.
yeah,
And so I understand. Could I make more money selling a t-shirt? Yes, I could. But the reality is that I don't have the time to do all of the little things like they popped out to
Right.
impress the customer. And so I would be willing to make less money to make a bigger impression. And
Absolutely.
in straight out of the gate, and it also helps they're in Florida too. Um,
oh
but
yeah, true. Look at that. That was
yeah,
just so dope, right? The t-shirt came in, the
Yeah.
beanie, the little card, the thank you card. Got some love for Stricken Brandt show right up in there. Like this was a really incredible packaging. Even the I'm just what you've been waiting for writing on the bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was way
Yeah.
better than, like I got my mug and my cup and stuff from TubeBuddy, and I think they used Teespring, and like it's just balled up in the
Yeah.
bag. It wasn't even
It's
folded
yeah,
nicely. It
oh,
just balled up in
absolutely.
the
yeah.
bag. The bag comes in the bottom, and that came in like a little envelope, and it wasn't nowhere near as
Yeah.
dope as
Press
how they
and
did that.
press and sew is legit. This shirt came from them as well, and the packaging was just on point. Doc is right, man. I mean, press and
Right,
sew and the quality. I
Yeah,
mean,
right,
soft.
soft. Woof. I'm a big
right.
boy, and I
I
usually
I
have,
have deposited sample T-shirts from different vendors, from different manufacturers. So I get the idea of what a quality T-shirt is. And when I pulled
right.
that Doc Rock shirt out of the bag, the bag was nice, the inner packaging was nice, the cards were nice, the T-shirts were nice,
Absolutely.
the printing was
Yeah.
nice. I know the difference between a screen print and direct to garment. So it's all, the quality just screamed, and you want something to represent your brand. And honestly, I think that you know, I understand that. I kind of tell this story. I went to graduate school in the University of Texas, and when I first got there, I lived in a dorm, and a few years before me, in that same dorm, in the floor above me, I was on the 26th floor, he was on the 27th floor. A guy named Michael Dell lived. Now, Michael Dell started a small computer company out of his dorm room selling parts. And so every once in a while, somebody would wander about, knock on my door and ask, was this Michael Dell's room? No, upstairs. But so I early on living in Austin started
Wait,
to
were
pay
they
attention
cute?
to what Michael Dell did. And one thing that Michael Dell did was he admitted he did not understand what he was doing. He admitted to his weaknesses, and he hired people around him. He went, got some of his UT professors, some other people to run the company for him. Now he runs it now, but of course he now knows how to run it. But I admit I don't know everything I need to know about merchandising. I don't know everything I need to know about hosting. Do I have a conversational ability to work with vendors? Absolutely. But I know right now, uh, it is, I need to let that part of it go and understand other people can do a better job than I can,
That's
and
smart.
find those people and work with them. The Nixon straight out of the gate just blew me away. And all they had to do, and damn it, I paid for the T-shirt myself. But
Right.
it's the point is that when it arrived, it was like, this is the nicest thing I've ever, and I buy T-shirts all the time. I buy, branded T-shirts. Now that I'm stuck working for my house, I wear nothing but T-shirts. All my collared shirts are sitting on a rack. So, yeah, if you find a vendor, stick with them and then elevate them with your other friends, because they did a great job.
It's so dope. Like I think the main, if there's any takeaways from today, I just want you to keep in mind that as you start flushing out the content for your video, you're smart because you got the script thing down. Also remember that the script can create audiograms. Audiograms will go a long way with some of your other social media. Now,
Right.
according to what they keep telling me on Clubhouse, you kind of still want to pump a Pinterest channel, especially because you're a Disney person. So your Pinterest stuff goes a long way. I tried and then I got off of it because I once heard somebody says if your man is on Pinterest, then he's Pinterested in men. So I kind of walked
bro.
away from that. I was like, oh, really? Okay, I'm out of there. Turns out I shouldn't have listened to that person because I was on Pinterest in the very beginning. Again, something that came up at a social media trade show when they first launched. There was probably barely like 10,000 people on Pinterest. I was one of the early adopters. And then that joke came out and I just like, yeah, it is kind of female in here. So I bailed. So my Pinterest authority went out the window. But I believe Pinterest is still a very big play because of the clientele that you're trying to reach.
Right.
I think they'll probably exist there. And again, solving people's pain points, brother. To every person here, solving their pain points is the answer. Let me see, Tommy, if I can do this for you real quick, brother. Tommy is asking, I didn't press the button, but Tommy is asking what exactly is an audiogram. I will give you an example if I can find it. I have one already made. Let's see.
You are awesome. You are amazing. There's your audiogram.
Kinda, but no.
Yeah, they're. I see them on Twitter all the time. My question, kind of was that the script wasn't ready for the M1 straight out of the gate.
It is,
And I think
no, but it works though because I've been using it.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm almost there. Sorry, gang. Because of course Tommy always asks me crazy stuff, so I gotta answer it because again, like I said, we love Tommy around these parts. He's a little
Absolutely.
rough around the edges, but he's good. Okay, let me bring
rough around the edges.
Yeah, here we go. So there's these two cats, and then wait, you can't do that, dude.
While you're looking at that, I just want to give a shout out to Sammy because his show premiered on
right,
Amazon.
Oh yeah.
right.
I watched part of that this morning.
Yeah, I
Sammy
did too.
Sammy Superstar has got his show, and let's just admit it, that kid is going to own all of us in 10 years.
He will. And if he gets some kind of royalty or something, time somebody watches it on Prime, I might have to just put it in the background running just to see if we could boost his revenue.
It's kind of like Harris Heller and Stream Beats. The long-term play for Harris on that is that, he only makes a fraction of a penny every time one of his songs are played, but so many people are playing that song, his songs all day long in their streams. It doesn't matter to him.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. I'll show you two different versions. Hopefully you guys can hear this when it plays. All protected from creepy internet trackers. Wait a minute. What? You didn't do that yet? Go back. Don't talk. Just listen. Make sure you go back and do that. Seriously. I'm not joking. I mean, for real. This week, Mama said I've been a good podcaster so I can have company. In his world podcasting debut, trainer, bodybuilder, super dad, Cowboys fan, entrepreneur, Big E, also known as Eric Yamashita, joins the Solid Pod to talk to us about his brand new startup that is taking Hawaii by storm. Every day better. We did it again, son. We did it again.
The Solid Podcast is available at www.solid.fm, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Player.fm, or wherever podcast getting is got.
Every day better, fam.
Solid as a rock.
That's an
Doc?
Audiogram.
So, did you hire the voiceover out?
I was going to say your
Or was it-
voice got a little higher there towards the end,
Bruh,
Doc.
I produce radio commercials for your. Hey, come here, random female, speak on mic. Just say this, and then I have the equipment to make everything sound better.
Everything pretty. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
but
bad. That was dope.
you don't have to overproduce them. You ever get the impression your phone is spying on you? You ever sit down and talk with your friends and all of a sudden what you talk about shows up in your feed as an advertisement saying, hey, buy me now? Do you really think Google, Facebook, and Apple are spying on you? We're going to get to the bottom of these questions and more on this, the latest episode of the Solid Podcast by your man Doc Rock. That's me. And you can listen to it now on solid.fm. That's www.solid.fm. Subscribe to the Solid Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Plays. You got it. You guys understand.
Tommy. And one of the other things, Tommy, to know about that is that there's also a version where the script will actually take your words and then transcribe them, and then they'll also show there's an option.
They'll show
to
the words, yeah.
Right. So you don't have to necessarily turn the volume up to know what he's saying. There's a
at that time I
that's
made those, the script didn't exist, but or maybe it did, but I didn't know about it. But yeah, you can have it just read your words, which is the new way you want to do it now. You want to have what Rob is speaking of because the person doesn't have to have their sound on to see it.
Yeah.
I think Miss D just did one recently, similar to that. Let's see, D-I-A-N-A-G-L-A-T-V. It has something to do with Canon M50s.
and Yeti micro Yetis. I don't know if I told you, but when I was shopping on Alibaba the other night, I found the manufacturer for Blue Yeti. So you could buy direct from them. Not that anyone in this family that would intentionally, but yes.
Oh, you mean you can go buy a direct factory brand?
Yeah.
You can buy Disney Bloggies like direct from
Yeah,
them.
I could buy, yeah. Well, and that was the goal, is that as and I've been talking about this, is that as I go out and start finding people for my shows, I'm going to assume that they don't have the A6100 pointing at their faces with the India Delgado lights in the whole 9 yards. I'm going to have to find some way to get them to use their phone on the camera on their phone as their ability, their way to connect to me. And so I went out and I found a vendor on Alibaba that for like $5 or $6 will get a metal stand with a LED ring light that'll hold the phone and whatever else, and create a kit that I can send out to my guests that would not cost me more than $10 out of pocket. So if it never returned to me, it wouldn't be a big deal.
You don't care, yeah.
Right. But at the same time, if these people are going to talk to me multiple times, then they can sit on it. It's not going to do me any harm to have that $10 or $15 with shipping or whatever in their hand over and over again when they're ready. And so, that's what I was doing.
I have
that,
connects in Japan I have connects in China for manufacturing, so you don't have to worry about getting jacked by Alibaba people.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is that, I understand that there's a risk to purchasing from Alibaba, but so, everything that I've done so far has been fine.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Doc,
Yes,
Rob,
Yes,
is there anything else you need from me? Because I need to go do some maintenance on the RCP.
Nice.
That's code,
Is there an
Doc.
upgrade?
That's code.
Is there, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's it.
I need to check that too.
Yeah, get out. Good to see you. We're going to wrap it up anyway because I have a Zoom call, but I just thank you, David, for coming through. Everybody
welcome.
look out. Digital Buddha got some big things planned for you, so let's just
Look
don't
out.
get it twisted.
Thanks,
Yay.
Doc. Rob, Rob, if
Aloha.
you need
Thanks.
anything, let me know.
I'll
Peace.
see you in class. Woo.
Sounds good.
Big
Bye-bye.
gang. And then speaking of class, quick reminder for the membership, folks. We do have a Zoom class coming up in roughly an hour and a half from now. That's 1 hour and 30 minutes. You have ample time to go get your eat on, drink, coffee, whatever you need to do. And thank you, Lem, for dropping that in the group. If you don't already do so, you can get access to these lovely things by jumping over to the Buy Me a Coffee page, which is here. Bam. Why is Rob's only face over there? Hi, Rob only. Okay, so you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Doc Rock if you haven't already jumped in. Everyone who is a member already or a patron, please check your emails. The Zoom link should be there. If not, DM me in Facebook. Don't email me because I'm not going to see it. I check email twice a day. I am not one of those stare at my email every time it blinks because it's 80% rubbish anyway. I hate email. I hate email with a passion. I love Slack. So I wish everybody had Slack instead of email. Anyway, that's at least I digress. Rob, thank you, brother, for doing what you do. Tuesday, Mr. Rob, we got some big things happening Tuesday. Let me find this image real quick. I done sent it to Miss D in India and then hid it from myself because I tend to do stuff like that. Yeah, Tuesday is going to be a different day. Why do I get the hiccups all of a sudden? What the heck? I just always get the hiccups at the worst time. And you know what? I'll just download it again. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm used to it by now, though.
Right? Tuesday is going to be a very special day, gang. We have some special things happening, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. It has been a long time coming. It has been a long time in the making. My squad and I have been working on it a lot. So we're going to keep it super secret. We're not Apple around these parts. There'll be no leaks, but it will happen on Tuesday. More than likely, that beep, beep, beep I just heard was Miss D probably texting me my own picture back because I lost what I did with it. But I already downloaded it, Miss D, so let me pop it in real quick. Booyaka! There it is. Super secret launch. And it is happening on Tuesday. Super secret launch. Do like this. That was so stupid. Oh, that was so stupid. Anyway, so get ready Tuesday, guys. On Tuesday stream, there is going to be a super secret launch. Make sure you are around Tuesday. You're not going to want to miss this. It's happening, and you guys will be excited because I'm excited. So I'm assuming you're going to be as excited as me. Good to see you, Lucky Smiths. You just showed up. That's still kind of high. Let's put that back down. Rob, thank you for allowing us to, wax rhapsodically about your mission. I just know that once you fire this up, brother, you're going to skyrocket. And the Let's Get Live family will support you because that's what we do. And now I have been kind of poo-pooing Disney. I tell my friends take their kids to Japan instead, but now I want to go.
Right.
It's funny because I'm like, I've been once. Why I got to go again? And I've been to, okay, now Lucky's my friend. So we're just going to go ahead and put that there because Lucky's my friend because he knows. Hold on. Come here. All right. The rest of this show is brought to you by Doc Poppy. Yes. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you, bro. Don't forget, gang. Go ahead. You can say what you got to say.
No, I was just going to say thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Well, I'll see you guys in class. Guys, don't forget, Tuesday is going to be a big day, so make sure you come through Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday and Saturday. If you have questions, comments, feedback, drop those in the bottom. If you're watching on replay, make sure you hit the replay squad, comment. Let us know you're there. If you're new around these parts, let us know you're new so you can get your warm welcome. And we are here to help you with everything live streaming and growing a YouTube channel. Rob's going to be a perfect test case of the system because I know the system works. I trust in the system, and he is going to be a perfect use case of the system. So for all of you Let's Get Live family out there, we will see you again on Tuesday. I'll see most of you guys in class for the guys that are members. If you're curious how to become a member and you want to know more, that link right there buymeacoffee.com/DocRock. You can hit that and you'll go and see. You can either come in once or you can come in as a full member. And we do the Zoom classes basically every weekend, and we get deeper, talk a little bit more stuff that's hard to do by unidirectionally over YouTube. It's bi-directional in Zoom, so it's a little bit better for that.
Right.
So yeah, I can't wait to get in there, and it's going to be fun. So I'm gonna go eat and catch the last couple minutes of Manchester Arsenal, and hopefully we pull out a 3. And then I'll see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Don't forget the Zoom call. Thank you, Rob.